Good day, welcome to another edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Eric Gross, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Fran Wills. And Fran, good seeing you again.
It's great to see you on a beautiful spring day.
Oh, beautiful spring day in the end of February.
Yes.
Hopefully it's over. What are you looking at crystal ball? Think we're going to get a little more snow?
Probably sometime when we least expect it.
You heard it from the boss over here. Exciting things happening in the Putnam Valley Schools. This show is chock full of information. We're going to meet the new principal of the Putnam Valley Middle School.
As of July 1.
As of the 1st of July. We're going to be talking about the energy performance contract along with active learning spaces. All kinds of things happening.
Yes, very exciting to see. You know, just today, for example, this beautiful day, we have the History Club going to Boston, spending the day there, walking the Freedom Trail, the History Club from the high school. Couldn't have been a more beautiful day to get a taste of American history in the real setting. We're excited about that. And we're going to have a lot of work that we're doing now to prepare for next year. We have a new schedule that's been designed at the high school that, you know, we're going to talk about that at a future, one of the future Inside Putnam Valleys, but there have been a number of presentations on that. We're working on an IB program for the high school. So we'll have a separate Inside Putnam Valley just to hear about what's going on there.
And on March 17th, there's something very special taking place as well.
We're having a very, what I consider a very important day, half day for professional development. So we're having an early dismissal that day so that our staff and we actually have invited community members in as well to talk about how you sustain a community of respect in schools. There's been a lot of discussion about how everyone needs to be treated with dignity and how we have to look at the issue of bullying in schools, bullying online. So we're going to have sessions on digital citizenship. We have a community member, Mark Weiss, who is a facilitator of Operation Respect, which is a program for younger children, teaching them how to speak and act respectfully, appreciating differences. We're going to have a session on teaching English language learners effectively in the regular classroom. We're looking at different ways to teach science that engage student voices and student action. We'll have a session by Ms. Doherty, who is our DASA coordinator on the Dignity for All Students Act and what that means in schools. And we're going to have a session on facing history and ourselves. All of these deal with current issues from history in our time as well, related to prejudice, ethical decision-making, civic engagement, and civil discourse.
We're going through some very difficult times,
Yes.
not only around the country, but locally, regionally. And this
Absolutely.
ties in beautifully.
And that's why we're doing this, because sometimes what you have to sense what is going on around us and help everyone make sense of it. And so there's going to be a special circle of learning and sharing to look at people with diverse perspectives. And we have to get along. We have to find a way to have common language based on one common belief in the dignity of all people.
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Yes,
You have to wear green that day.
absolutely.
Okay. Jill Figarella is our district treasurer.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit in the beginning about this energy performance contract. Shall we invite Jill and chat with her a little bit?
Yes, please.
Jill Figarella, you're up next. When Jill Figarella joins us, Jill, of course, is the district treasurer. You know, it's that time of the year again. But it seems in public school education, Jill, that time of the year starts on September 1 when the children come back to school.
Right, it never ends. We're always talking about the budget and you know, savings and throughout the year all the time. But once again, the district is preparing for you know, a tax cap compliant budget for the 2017-18 school year. So with that said, a new budget always brings new initiatives and new cost factors. So the main cost factor, you know, that we get concerned with initially is, you know, how is the tax cap going to affect our budget? And so this year the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, is at 1.26%. And that formula will yield for us an estimated slight levy increase of about $225,000 over what we ended up levying at the end of last year. And as you may remember, We did have a decrease in our levy
Right.
after we voted on our budget, which gave money back to our taxpayers in that way. So, of course, the estimates based on prior year's assessments and equalization rates, because we don't have that new information. At this time, if I look at that, it'll probably yield about 16 cents per $1,000 of everyone's assessment. They can kind of think of it that way. And like I said, it's just an estimate because those assessments and equalization rates are not available.
And the Board of Education continues to meet to discuss the budget. You urge the community to get involved. Attend Board of Education meetings if they can. Watch it on the cable television.
Of course.
On the school's website.
Yes, we encourage that all the time. There's other cost factors that drive the budget this year. We have 15 retiring staff members, which is a large number. We have 8 teachers and 7 non-teaching staff members retiring. They will play into the cost factors in the budget. We have health premiums going up, and I'm sure you'll be hearing this from other school districts across the area as well. Big increase, about 8% on our health premiums.
The retirement funds went down a little bit, didn't
They
of
did.
course?
There
Yeah.
was a reduction in the New York State retirement contribution for teaching staff only. They will, that will help reduce the cost for the district. Also, there's some new cost program initiatives, new costs for program initiatives and new programs that we'll be having next year. But everyone can tune into the board meetings. We've been talking about them at the last few board meetings. The superintendent, the middle school, elementary school, and high school principals have all given their presentations. Those are all available on our website, so people can go and view them. On March 9th and March 23rd, I will be giving a full-length budget presentation to, tie that all together. And, the voters also this year will be asked to vote on an energy performance project.
Okay.
It's a project that's going to be on a separate proposition. And I think Mr. Bellino, our operations director, will speak to you about that next.
Okay, thank you. It was good seeing you.
You too. Thank
Get
you,
involved
Eric.
with that budget process. And talking about Mr. Bellino, we call him Uncle Pat. Pat Bellino over here. Come on down, Pat. Pat, of course, is Director of Operations, Technology and Transportation. Good seeing you again, sir.
Same.
Tell us about this energy performance contract.
Yeah, it is. It's we started looking at how do we reduce our carbon footprint here in the district, and I wanted to try that in. The board gave direction. We've been talking ongoing about, let's say again, reducing the carbon footprint, and I wanted to try to tie that in with some infrastructure upgrades. That obviously, the age of the buildings, every year you get a little older. The original elementary school, 1935. You want to keep them up as to the standards we as a district would like to have them at. So as we looked at that, we started putting together. We put out the bids for companies to come in and give us an idea of what could they do from an energy efficiency standpoint for us, which would result in cost savings to the district, with the idea of using those cost savings to improve some of the infrastructure. The company that was selected is named Con Solutions. It's a division of Con Edison, and to make the long and short of it is that by entering into a contract with them, we're going to be able to save approximately $384,000 a year on energy savings. In that you'll have, there's a number of things that contribute to that, which also ties into the infrastructure. In the elementary school, for example, the 1935 and the 1962 windows in the building, they're all single pane. They'll be upgraded. They'll be taken out, upgraded, keeping the architectural styling as it is. We're doing solar panels on the middle school and high school, and also on our transportation building. And again, in order to offset our electrical cost.
Lights also?
Yeah, lighting, LED lighting throughout both campuses, interior and exterior. That'll probably be, first off, the savings alone on the manpower of changing light bulbs and things like that. These bulbs come with a 10-year warranty. So a bulb goes out, they replace it, which is nice. So as opposed to us buying, for example, on fluorescents right now, it costs us roughly $2 to purchase a fluorescent bulb, and it costs us an additional $3 to send it back for recycling. So your total cost is really $5 per bulb.
Sure.
And to get something that'll replace, and last for 10 years at no additional cost other than your initial outlay is a tremendous thing. We'll be looking, let me just make sure I cover the important notes here for you, the LED lighting we talked about. The other big change that we're making is at the elementary school. Eric, as you're aware, this campus here, the middle school and the high school, a number of years ago, actually when we built the high school and in the 2 years previous to that at the middle school, we went to a geothermal heating system, heating and cooling. There is no fuel oil used at all on this campus. The buildings are heated and cooled through a ground source. We now have over at the elementary school, which is the only building, we have a furnace unit there, a boiler unit, that uses about 45,000 gallons of fuel a year. We're putting in a partial geothermal system in there. The geothermal system will be there, but what it'll do is it'll partially offset the use of the oil-based system. We're estimating it'll probably be about a 2/3 reduction on the use of oil.
So this item will appear on the ballot
Yes,
during the May election.
yes,
No cost to local taxpayers.
right, it's gonna be at absolutely no cost. We figured
Plus the
this out.
savings.
Plus there's that's reliant on the taxpayers.
Right.
We have this figured out that right now, the cost for this expenditure, to get all these infrastructure upgrades and the energy savings pays for the project. So again, zero increase there, which was the goal, my personal goal. But as somebody that lives here, I want to make sure no additional taxes where I can. If the community agrees with it, because we're being transparent and telling them all about this, so we have it as a separate proposition, the state, in order to benefit the district, gives you an extra 10% in aid for the project. So that roughly comes out to about an additional $600,000 over the course of the term of the bond that we floated for it. So.
And of course, this item, as budget items, will be discussed thoroughly at board meetings, at public forums.
They've been discussed at every meeting so far coming up. There'll be further discussion as we get into as we're in our budget season now. It's all, again, as usual, everything's on our website. Any information, they can call my office. It's like I said, website, it's at board meetings, we'll probably have another forum on it to be sure.
Okay.
Because we'd appreciate the community coming out and voting on this, and hopefully if it's a positive vote, then we'll be entitled and get the additional aid, which only benefits the taxpayer.
Okay, so get informed once again, tune in, attend meetings, learn about this. It's almost sounds like a no-brainer.
I would hope so. I would think so, but
Yeah, it's up to the public.
we'll see. It's up to the
It's up
public.
to the
So
public. Pat, of course, is the director of transportation as well. And coming over today, there was a study, Pat, that was released just the other day about careless drivers, every parent's worry. And they were talking about passing stop and loading school buses. We've talked about this, you and I,
yep.
in the past. And the New York State Association of Pupil Transportation released the statistics of a survey taken in late January. And according to this, 878 school bus drivers from 35 districts in the lower Hudson Valley reported 727 times passed in a single day.
Yep.
That's crazy.
it really, it's amazing to me that I can't fathom how somebody could be unless it's a dire emergency.
Yeah.
That somebody would even think to do that. This is precious cargo on these buses. Not to mention, in a war of, an automobile against a bus, you usually know which way that's going to go. They're risking their own lives at that point too. Not to mention any children that may be passing in front of the buses, and it's really hard to fathom. I know the penalties have been increased on it.
Yes, they have been, yes.
And I must tell you, I'm always appreciative of our bus drivers here. People don't realize, I don't think people realize, our bus drivers do over 500,000 miles a year.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And knock wood, they get their kids here and back home safely.
As we've said in the past too, you folks are on the road. The bus is going to be there every morning,
Right.
180 school days
Right.
at the same time. So you have to adjust to your schedule.
Right.
The bus is not going to adjust this.
Buses follow their schedule and try to
Right.
meet them as best they can. Obviously, weather sometimes can impact that a little bit, but again, we just ask them to be observant of the students in the road, be observant of the buses when they're there, and please show a little patience from the times they've got to do the drop-offs.
Because you'll never know, God forbid, if your grandchild or child might be on that bus.
I agree.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
seeing you.
Same.
Pat Bellino, thanks so much. Well, Fran, we're in Lisa Furlong's class here at Putnam Valley High. Very unusual program dealing with sculpture and architecture.
Yes, we're very excited. This year we brought in a group of architects. It's called the Arch Program. And they come in and work with students on projects in art, science, engineering, and they connect architecture, real-world problem solving. And so we had a project here in Lisa's art class with her students who are in the sculpture class.
Lisa, tell us all about it.
So originally, the architects came in to design a sculpture for the courtyard outside, and the students took that idea and ran with it, and it morphed into this really cool outdoor space that they created. And we had two classes competing against each other to see who could design the best outdoor space for our school.
So they
And the
work.
results are amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, and so here the students get to do the kinds of things that architects would do. They actually have a competition, and they have a rubric, they have a way of deciding which is really the most functional, the most aesthetically pleasing, and so on, kind of landscape project. And then we hope that we'll be able to create it outside in the courtyard, so that the students see the fulfillment of their work. So they see how you can apply architectural principles, aesthetic principles.
High school students creating something like this, it's like a college level course.
It is. It is. It's very exciting.
So we need to look at the other, you see this one, right? This particular design.
Okay.
And now we're going to move to the other design
All right, we'll check
so
that
that
out
we
as
have a
well.
chance to see both.
Okay.
The students in this class decided to create a tiger paw print patio where they have little tables and tile mosaics. They have couches. They decided to also create a sculpture tree that would have benches and then places for kids to kind of sit and relax, recreation areas, and then little tiny egg chairs where people can sit and relax and talk. In this class, the students wanted to also create some areas for seating, so they have a nice pavilion that they created. They also have the basketball court as a recreational area, and they also added this really nice water feature and bridge, because they were thinking about having like a nice, calm, peaceful setting. They also have lots of nice, beautiful planters that they wanted to include on the side of the walls along the school.
Well, Fran, we talked about many times the horror of the Taconic State Parkway, the Putnam
Yes.
Street overpass, and here children at the middle school are actually learning design, engineering, and designing plans for that bridge.
Yes, yes, this is another aspect of the architects project, where the architects are coming in, working with our teachers and our students to do a real-world problem-solving project. And I'd like to ask Pat VanDevelde, Phyllis Conlin, who are working with the students, to describe what the students are doing and how they learn the principles of architecture and engineering.
Phyllis, tell us about it. This is so
Sure.
fascinating.
Thank you so much. Well, actually, the first day we had the architects come in and they talked to the students about the bridges and the types of bridges. They researched a little bit beforehand. And then from there, they were able to they were set free on their own and design their own types of bridges, whether they wanted a cable stay, a trestle bridge, however they wanted. They're doing an actual scale model, 3D model of the overpass for the Taconic State Parkway. So it's true, real life.
And it's a drawing, too.
Yes,
Drawing.
it is. We incorporated our Math 7 Common Core content where they had to do proportional relationships and reasoning, and they first did their research, took their idea, and created a scale drawing that they're now using as a template to actually build a 3D model of their solution to this problem. Part of their research was to look at the inside Putnam Valley piece that you did, so they were able to see the video of the site itself. And some of our students live in Roaring Brook and have to go over that every day, so it really brings that home. It's a hands-on way of interacting with math content and really understanding how that's going to be applied in the real world and what's going to work, what's not going to work.
You think one of these projects, one of these concepts could very possibly be that bridge?
I would, absolutely. They've come up with some great ideas, absolutely.
We'll have to send them to the state as part of our final. Yep, that'll be our
We
final.
plan on
conversations.
contacting the Transportation Department to let them know what we're doing. I think Mr. Hallisey has already been in contact, and we're hopefully one of the reps will come down and maybe take a look at their final product when they're finished.
And when they're all
and-
done, we'll have them on display so people
Yes.
can come and view them.
So I also would like to just comment that this is a wonderful use of this new space. The
Yes,
all room
absolutely.
here, which is an active learning lab, where there's movable furniture, where students can work in groups. really following a type of design of workspace that they would have perhaps as they grow older and get into their careers.
Yes.
It's a wonderful problem-solving environment. So
We were
it lends
able
itself.
to leave some of the notes up that we worked on with them when
On the walls?
when we had our workshop with the architects came in, and we were able to leave that for them as they've come in and continue to work. Now today, independently, we have 2 more workshops scheduled next week where the architects will be coming in with a little more hands-on guidance, but
And we're fortunate because this period, we combine our classes together. We have 2 classes. And we've asked for this. This is our second year in a row that we've had one common planning time, one period, that we have 2 groups of classes work together. So they get to work with not just students in my class, but with students in VanDevelde class.
And they get to interact with 2 different teachers and have that different work environment where you're not in that small core of same students. So we've requested that, and it's worked real nice. We've done some other projects where we bring the classes together, and I think the students enjoy getting to work in that way.
So who knows, down the road, that project at the Taconic State Parkway, the Pudding Street Bridge we've all been talking about and concerned about, maybe there'll be a plaque someday, designed by students at the Putnam Valley Middle School. You never can tell. Well, Fran, this handsome gentleman between us is no stranger to our programs that have been on the show many times. We're talking about Travis McCarty, who is the new, effective the 1st of July, principal here at the Putnam Valley Middle School. Congratulations.
Thank you, Eric.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a pleasure to be the next principal of Putnam Valley Middle School. I've been working here for 13 years, had a year as an assistant principal, and I've had great mentors along the way. Dr. Wills, Mr. Hallisey, worked a little bit with Mr. Hanna, and it's really an unbelievable opportunity. And to see that, you know, Mr. Hallisey had been here for 20 years, the position doesn't come up that often. So being in the right place at the right time is something I'm really happy about and excited for this next venture in my career.
Putnam Valley Middle School, such exciting programs going on for young people.
Yes, it does. We have quite a few new projects going on. One is the Yale Ruler Project, which focuses on the social and emotional aspects of all students that enter the middle school. We also have IDE with the LATIC program, which is more of a student-initiated process. The students are the learners in the classroom. The teacher is really the facilitator. So it's not teacher-driven in a sense, it's more student-driven. So those are 2 of the more major initiatives that we have going on. We also have some curriculum initiatives with iReady, and we have the pleasure of having a reading coach here in the middle school and an instructional support specialist for math. They're working with the teachers on the ground level and getting the students feedback so that we can change our curriculum on a needed basis.
Fran, the search was a nationwide search for a successor for Ed Hallisey, who's been around many, many years. And this guy here was the creme de la creme, as they say, huh?
Yes, he really did earn the position. We had quite an interview process, and it was very clear that both heart and head were right at this middle school. The intellectual curiosity to really create and have a vision, and the heartfelt commitment to our students and staff. You know, even the project we just saw, the project in the All Room, this has been something that we can count on Mr. McCarty to support, and he was very involved in creating the space, the All Room space, and making sure that students are using it effectively. Our teachers are very excited about using it, and we feel that we're on the cusp of something very exciting. Last year, Mr. McCarty was involved in a school-to-watch application process with staff, working with staff on that, where we had an outside sort of evaluator, assessor of our program, to come in and look at every corner of our school, and now we'll have recommendations for improvement that will sort of act as a template for a plan for moving forward. Mr. Hallisey has laid the foundation of a remarkable school, and now it's time to, you know, for the new vision, and based on what we have, based on what we've created, based on a wonderful staff, but ready to spread our wings, mainly because we're really interested in making sure that our students are prepared for a world that is quite different from 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And the requirements are different. Thus, we saw the all program, the hands-on activity in our all room.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Travis McCarty, the new principal as of the 1st of July of the Putnam Valley Middle School. Well, if you have children in the school, if you don't have children in the school, you read in the local papers, you know it's been a fantastic season for the athletic teams here at the Putnam Valley School District. Brian Burrow is the director of athletics, and Brian, basketball and wrestling and cheerleading. Whoa, what's going on here?
Absolutely. We had both basketball teams win opening round sectional games and make it to round 2. We had our 6 wrestlers are currently competing in the state championship. The championships will be held today and tomorrow. We have cheerleading heading to states next Friday with a good chance to win the state. And we also had a couple of successful merger teams. We had gymnastics with Lakeland Panis, and Caitlin Pellegrino, an 8th grader, won the overall for the team. Gymnastics was undefeated for the entire season. And Lakeland Panis hockey made it to sectionals and competed against Mayapack last Sunday.
Why all the successes for a small school like Putnam Valley?
That's a good question. I think it's a package deal. The community supports the kids at the youth level, and it continues up through the high school.
Well, again, congratulations to one and all. And again, these are all student athletes. These are not just
Absolutely.
quote-unquote jocks.
Absolutely.
These kids excel in the classroom, excel in their community.
Yes.
Get their time goals set as well.
Absolutely. We work very closely with the students to make sure that they're supported and they get what they need so that they can do both school and athletics together.
Well, good seeing you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and congratulations one and all to all the young ladies and gentlemen, the young Putnam Valley various championship teams, semi-championship, you're all winners. Congratulations. When you say exciting things are happening in Putnam Valley, as I say, we're not kidding.
No, we're not.
A lot of good
Yeah.
stuff out there.
Yeah,
A lot of good more too as well in the spring.
absolutely.
March 30th is a big
March
night.
30th, the senior citizens from this region
Yeah.
are invited to our really remarkable musical. This year it's Billy Elliot. And
Oh.
I guarantee it's going to be an exciting and really beautiful event. And we hope that senior citizens will take advantage of that opportunity. They have dinner, and then they see the show. They see the show and then have dinner. And then, of course, the show plays throughout that weekend. And
Is it going to be
that's-
open to, it's open to the whole community?
Yes, absolutely. We hope people
Sure.
will get tickets because they're going to go fast
Yeah.
for Billy Elliot.
Oh,
We
you
have
have
an
that-
incredible dancer, James Capozito. We have other actors who are really involved in the school in dance as well as music and Billy Elliot has a great score.
You go to a
Great
Putnam
story.
Valley, you go to a Putnam Valley show, you think you're on Broadway.
That's right.
Really, it's
That's right.
amazing. These kids are so talented.
Exactly. And another event that I want to call attention to the community to possibly get to is on March 1st. We do a great performances activity. It's the band and the chorus. And this year they're doing something very unusual. I don't know if you've heard of Carmina Burana by Carl Orff. While it's considered a classical work, it's really a thrilling opportunity to hear voices and music. That Orff created his own language for this. And the sounds are, well, they're awe-inspiring. And I urge people to try to get here on March 1st as well for this performance at 7 o'clock.
Okay, very, very good. Before we do sign off, 2 quick notes. High school students graduating in June, interested in a career in plant science or horticulture, can apply for a scholarship. A Cornell Cooperative Extension of Putnam County contacted me the other day. They're offering 2 $500 scholarships for students in Putnam Valley and the other high schools, and they suggest you contact the guidance office and apply. You know, it's great, kids like that.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
So one, thank you to Cornell. And I know we're going to be talking to her later on in the school year, but a special shout out to our friend Deputy Corinne Pitt, Investigator Corinne Pitt, appointed, elevated by the Sheriff's Department the other day. She'll be leaving our school. We're going to be talking to her, as I say, before the end of the year. But what an asset to the school district.
Yes. She has
Wonderful
been
lady.
she's irreplaceable in some ways because the way she's been able to develop the trust of the students and faculty and the way she is such a force for safety, security, and just a sense of comfort in our schools.
She's a nice person.
And she's a lovely person.
Okay. So for Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Fran Wills, I'm Eric Gross. We thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Until next time, bye-bye now.